You're fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the End Zone Scoop. I am Dayna OG. Joining me is Shona. Let me see.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Just on the lead up to my last exam for the semester, so it's all busy at the minute.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Just 1 second. I'm getting a weird echo. Hold on.
You good?
I think I'm good now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, that was so strange. It was the weirdest echo. I apologize to our listeners and watchers. I apologize about that. We were having a little bit of. Can you hear that echo?
A wee bit, but it's not too off-putting.
That is so strange. I am so sorry. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get rid of this.
I can't hear you. No,
How
I
are
can hear.
you now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. For some reason, my AirPods are giving me full fits, and I don't know why that is. So we're just going to let them sit by themselves over in the corner. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry. Welcome. It is the End Zone Scoop podcast. I am Dayna OG, and this is Shona. We've already done the introduction, and I'm sorry about the echo. I apologize about all of that. All right. So today we're going to have kind of an interesting mix of conversations between the two of us. Of course, Liz cannot join us today, obviously, because it's just the two of us today. So we will miss Liz for sure. But I'm interested. We just finished up. Oh my God, what week are we in now? We just finished 12, I guess. We're going into 13 at this point already.
Insane.
I know this year has gone by so fast, but what is even more insane to me is the bizarre set of circumstances we are sitting in, if that makes any sense at all, in the NFL. We have teams that we thought would just be rock stars and fly through the season. We have teams that we thought would be complete disasters. And we have those. Don't get me wrong. They're still there. But what we have is a whole bunch of middle of the road teams. And it's just a little baffling to me. So I wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about a couple of different things. But first, I want to start with the Buffalo Bills. So Shona, I don't remember where you had them at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season. I had them winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm beginning to think I might have been wrong.
I had them not where they are right now. I'll tell you that. I don't know what is going on with the Bills. It's such a strange situation, and I know that obviously their coach came out after their loss to the Patriots and was like, this isn't the be all and end all, blah, blah. But, that's your division rival. And that's the team that you've been inspiring to try and beat for a long time. Finally did last season. And now it's kind of gone back to the status quo. So I just don't know I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. I feel like they've been taken through by their defense a lot. And a lot of the key players are missing. And I feel like that's the biggest issue for them. And it's starting to really show that their offense probably wasn't as we thought they were.
Here's the interesting thing to me about the Buffalo Bills is we looked at this team and it was so complete. I mean, it really was. And injuries are always a factor. I mean, we can never forget that. They affect every single team, but definitely some worse than others. But you looked at this team at the beginning of the season, it was deep. Had so much talent. Josh Allen looking to be rolling into MVP. All the Buffalo Bills fans were all about it, that he was going to be the MVP. And rightly so. They weren't wrong. They weren't like, just being homers. They made a lot of sense. And as the season started, their first game, they got beat by the Steelers. Okay, well, first games don't count in my opinion because you never know what kind of game is going to show up. And then they absolutely murdered the Dolphins 35-0. And then they started to roll. They were killing teams left and right. They beat Washington 43-21. They beat the Texans 40-0. They blanked 2 teams in 3 weeks. That's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Chiefs, and we all put a fork in the Chiefs. We thought they were done at that point, correct? And this is where I think the turning point started to come. The Jaguars beat them 9-6.
Yeah. That might be like, the apocalypse of the NFL, like just like a random grenade thrown in with the Jaguars beat the Bills. They're like, oh, let's just do something fun here in this week.
Yeah, it's weird because that Bills team, I don't know if you were able to watch that game. That didn't look like any Buffalo Bills team that I had ever seen before.
It didn't look like a Sean McDermott team I'd ever seen before.
Yeah, so true. They bounced back well, beating the Jets 45-17. And then they got just manhandled by the Colts, who the Colts are a very good team. I think that was probably one of the teams I underestimated the most in the offseason was the Colts. And I'm real glad to see that for Colts fans. But it just kept getting weirder. They would kill these teams, and then they would just absolutely be demolished by another team. And so then what happened was yesterday's game. And the Monday night game, okay, we get it. The weather was horrid, right? We understand that. But the Patriots won that game by throwing the ball 3 times. 3 total times, 19 yards.
Yeah. How much you bet? And Pete Carroll was loving that stat for himself.
He's like, see, you just proved my point.
You can do it.
But the interesting thing about it for me is that there's just this huge inconsistency. Josh Allen doesn't always look like Josh Allen. The defense is not as dominant as it looks. So tell me where you're at. We're through 12 weeks. They have coming up, they have the Bucks. They play Panthers. They play the Patriots again, then the Falcons and the Jets. So they have some easy games coming up. That's rude. No game is easy, but less competitive games coming up. So sorry. I hope no one gets mad at me. And so my question is for you, where do you see them? Do you see them kind of rolling through the end of the season? Do you think that maybe their injuries are just catching up to them? Where are we at with the Bills? Because I don't know that they're going to the Super Bowl anymore, and I'm really bummed about that.
Me too. I was so rooting for them. I feel like, and I mean, I know Wolf Blitzer's a big fan. I'm a massive fan of him too, so I'm always like rooting for them. But I just think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll get very far after that, which is so sad because I just think they're too inconsistent. They're too up and down, and you don't know where they're coming. And you don't know like what Bills team's going to turn up, which you wouldn't have said that last season. Last season, you were like, this Bills team, they might suffer some losses, but they'll bounce straight back. They're bouncing straight back, but then they're losing again. So it's like they're never getting a consistent run either way of losing or winning. And I don't see, you can't do that in the lead up to the playoffs. And this is crunch time.
Not when, and whoever thought we would say this, when your division is so competitive. You look and you're like, beginning of the year, you're like the Jets, the Dolphins, and then it's like
what?
They might be all right, middle of the road.
Who knew? By the way, Dolphins play 2-1. He might win you a game.
I know. Who knew? Shocking as that may be. Well, here's the interesting thing: the Patriots are at 9-4.
I know.
I'm going to give him credit. Bill Belichick was not having last year. He was not having it.
He is like a Wiccan or something, isn't he? He's like, got some good potion juice, and he's done like the hocus pocus thing where he's made himself young again, and his mind's all fruitful and youthful, and here he is back killing the NFL, and he'll still be here in like 20 years time, probably doing the same thing.
I know. I'm beginning to think at this point it's a race between who retires first, Belichick or Brady. And Belichick's like, screw you, I'm going to be there one more season than you.
He's like, hold on, Brady, you don't retire next year? Neither am I, son.
Pretty soon they'll be begging. Their wives will be paying each other to get them to retire. Okay, so the Patriots are at 9-4. The Bills are at 7-5, but then there are the Dolphins, who are coming off of a 5-win streak, 6-7. And so if the Bills don't get it together and the Dolphins keep rolling through, we'll see what happens.
This is what I'm saying. It's crunch time.
Yeah, it is definitely crunch time. Well, talking about crunch time, you guys, Never have there been so many playoff possibilities at this
I
point,
know.
especially talking about the NFC. Now, the AFC is I mean, they have their mix going on here too. The Patriots sitting at the top of the division like normal. 1 year off. People got 1 year off.
I know. People are like, 1 year off. It's fine. That's it. We've got a break. Telling you.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? He definitely, he's whipped up something.
I know. Oh, then you have the Titans, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Bills. Those are the 7 right now. Okay. Look at you, Kansas City. Where'd you come from? On the brink, though, in the middle there, you still have the Steelers, who have that yucky tie. That's going to screw them in the end. I really think it. Then you have the Colts, the Raiders, the Browns, the Broncos, and the Dolphins. The Raiders, Browns, Broncos, Dolphins all have 6 wins. They're all right there together.
I know.
The Colts have 7. The Steelers have 6 wins, but due to tiebreakers, they are a little higher up on the list. Out of the race completely are the Jets, the Texans, and the Jaguars. The Texans are the only team officially eliminated. Like, you're
done.
Over. Yeah, for sure. But there is those teams in the middle. So of those teams, I really think that the Colts probably have the best chance of popping up. Yeah, the Bills, they're just sitting right there at 7. I would be heartbroken for the Bills and their fans if they did not end up making the playoffs because of the talent level on that team.
Oh, I don't think it should be the case, but they can't, like I said before, they can't keep doing this momentum. Well, it's not even momentum. This is what I mean. It's like, you say they come back and they have demolished a team, but then they're getting demolished by the Colts the week later, or they lose 9-6 to the Jaguars. It's just, they need to find a consistency. I still think they'll make it. I do, hopefully, because I do love the Bills. But I don't see them going to the Super Bowl now, which is really sad.
It means the stinking Chiefs are going to do it. Okay, so we're going to get out of that. So the interesting thing is if the season were to end today, the Patriots would get a bye.
Of course.
The Bills would be at the Titans, the Bengals would be at the Ravens, and the Chargers would be at the Chiefs. Those divisional wild card
Chargers Chiefs, that's a tasty game already.
Yes, it will be. Because they've already beat the Chargers have already beat the Chiefs once. It'll be interesting. But the NFC,
oh God.
It's soup. That's all it is there. It is just soup going on in the NFC right now. So the Cardinals are at 10-2, clear favorites right now, sitting at number 1. Who would have saw that coming? Wasn't me. I had them 4th in their division this year.
I wrote off Cliff Kingsbury a long time ago. Wasn't I daft?
Oh, no, we all were. He was a terrible coach for 2 years, and all of a sudden everything started to work. Whatever. They're 10-2, and they didn't have their quarterback for 3 games. That should tell you.
I know.
Should tell you how good this team is. All right. Then you have the Packers sitting at 9-3, the Bucs sitting at 9-3, the Cowboys 8-4, Rams 8-4, Washington 6-6, and 49ers at 6-6. There are 7 teams still in the mix for a wild card in the NFC. The only one out of the race are the Lions. That's it. Just the Lions. Everyone else, every team is within 2 games of making the playoffs in the NFC.
I mean, people wrote off the Seahawks like completely a couple of weeks ago. And then as soon as they get the win of the 49ers, everyone's like, oh, okay. Seahawks are in the playoff hunt.
Well, technically they are. Now they're the last one in the playoff hunt, but they're down there at 4-8. I think that I think an 8-win team is going to end up in the playoffs this year. And that'll be just crazy. Now, which one? Who knows? Let's talk about these teams on the brink a little bit. We have the Eagles sitting at 6-7, who looked great this weekend. You have the Vikings still holding on. Good for you, Kirk Cousins. I'm not sure how that happens.
I don't know. He ain't no Wiccan anyway. I don't know how he does it.
Well, let me tell you, inconsistent. They have the same issues as the Bills right now. They just can't finish the games as well as the Bills can.
Oh, I think they're worse than the Bills.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
They're worse than the Bills. They have the Kirk Cousins effect,
Oh, for sure. Although I will say this. I had to put Kirk Cousins in for fantasy football when Russell was injured. Boy gets me 30 points. every week, from hell or high water.
You know, he's that beigeness you need, you know? Like, he might get you a win, or he might, you know, not.
Yeah.
He's that, like, you know, bread bun. You sometimes will be good, sometimes won't be.
Oh my gosh. The interesting thing about it is that he cracks me up. Vikings fans either love Kirk Cousins
Oh, yeah.
or wanted him gone 2 years ago. There's no middle of the road there. There's not like, he's good, he's fine. There's no trust there at all, for sure. It's insane to me. So then you have the Panthers, the most confusing team. At 5 and 7.
You know,
The freaking Falcons. Explain to me how they I don't get it at all in any way, shape, or form. The Saints at 5 and 7. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams at 5 and 7.
Yeah.
And then 3 teams at 4 and 8, 1 at 6 and 7. But then you have up in the playoffs right now, 2 teams that are 6 and 6, 500 teams after 3. I don't know. I want you to talk to me about the NFC West. Obviously, other than the Cardinals and the Packers, and even the Buccaneers, although we've seen cracks in that armor too. How do you see these playoffs kind of coming? Now, I know we're speculating a lot can happen. Someone could lose their quarterback next week. We understand that, right? It's always, but as of right now, how are you seeing it? And I have to put this comment up because God love Larry. Larry, that's right. We're hanging on, Larry.
We are hanging on. Yeah. So I feel like every time I mention that I feel like a team might go to the playoffs, I jinx them. So I'm going to do it again. I think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. Because since I said that a few weeks ago, they've lost a few games. So
they have.
One being to the Seahawks, which was delightful, by the way. No, I don't. Do you know what? It's so interesting. I actually see Washington football team sneaking in. I feel like they're, you know, they were left for dead after starting 2 and 6, but they've come out of week 9 in their bye. They started to 4 straight wins. They've done this without Chase Young. Now, when because he's out for the season. But they're still there. They're still 6 and 6. So they're the ones that I find really interesting because obviously they still are trying to build this like identity under Ron Rivera as well, and they still don't have a name. You know,
next year they get it.
And they're also going through this horrible time off field, you know, with all the other stories that's going on. But the team is just not paying attention to that. They're just focusing on their football, and that's what the fans will want, you know. And maybe they deserve a wee playoff push. But hopefully I haven't jinxed them too. See, I seem to jinx teams a lot when I say they're going to make the playoffs. So 49ers.
Well, let's talk about the 49ers really quick. So their upcoming games, they have to play Cincinnati, who is hot as hell right now. Cincinnati is looking so good. And they play in Cincinnati, which will make it even harder. Then they have a game against versus Atlanta in San Francisco. They have to play Tennessee. They get to play Houston. Sorry, Houston. And they end their season with the Rams. So this is not an easy road for San Francisco to go through. I could see them more than likely. I would assume they would probably win in Atlanta and Houston. Tennessee's going to be a little harder. And then the Rams and Cincinnati are going to be their 2 difficult games. So, I mean, do they win 2 out of 3? Do they win 3 out of 3? 3 or I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Now, when you look at, let me go back, and we're talking about Washington. So the Washington schedule is a little better. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing with their division. Who wants to win it?
Oh, we said this so many times.
I know. We do talk about it all the damn time. And it's fascinating to me. So let's see. Washington plays the Cowboys on Sunday. That is going to be a good game. Please, people, turn in. And then we have Washington. They play the Eagles, and then they play the Cowboys again. So they have 1, 2, 3. Every single remaining game is a divisional game. They play the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Eagles, and the Giants. That sucks for them, you guys.
That does suck
for them.
Oh God,
man, that sucks
That's a
for
tough
them.
run-in. That is a tough run-in.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see. But that doesn't make life very much easier for the other teams in that division too. So Washington is going to have, they got a hill to climb. I'll put this up. Yes, we'll see how we will see how they do after these games coming in. And we will, at the end of the season, definitely have a conversation about the coaches on the hot seat, and Shanahan might be one of them.
Because I actually feel like, that's quite an interesting comment. How long can bad coaching hide behind injuries? Because I actually think he is the problem with the injuries. I actually think like what do they do in training? What like you don't really know his coaching style. Well, we do know his coaching style. It's not great. And also, I think that's a very interesting comment because, the injuries are being said, oh, yeah, that's why he's not winning. But I actually think it could be his style of in practicing, and because they get so much injuries all the time, so many. And it's been ever since he's come under as head coach that they seem to lose their top players really quickly. And I just wonder what is actually going on behind the scenes. Not that I'm saying he's like beating them up or anything.
No, I get what you're saying. It is interesting that 1 year a team gets hit by the injury bug, happens. It's your injury year. Just suck it up, move on, wait for the next season. Can it happen 2 years in a row? Usually 2, maybe. It can happen to the same player, but the depth of injuries has been an issue for San Francisco. And for a long time, it was, I felt real bad for them. I'm like, we don't know what this team could do because they're never all on the field. And after a while, you have to start questioning, strength and fitness coaches. You have to start questioning all those people. So I don't know. Right now, San Francisco fans are still so mad about Sunday. That's the only thing they can focus on right now. So
wasn't that safety beautiful?
I was waiting for you, Carlos, on that. All right. So let's look at these other NFC teams. The Eagles played great this weekend, but again, they have that division that those teams can all kind of beat each other up because let's see. Yes, all of their division is in the playoff hunt still because even the Giants are sitting there at 4-8. And that was the team. Although now they have both their quarterbacks are injured. They're going to start from, the Giants. Oh my God, I can't even with that team. So then you have the Vikings. That's going to be tougher.
Aren't they coachless now as well, Giants?
No.
Oh, I thought they.
I don't think they fired their coach. Not that I have seen. I could have missed it. So.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I dreamt it.
Maybe you were wishful thinking.
Yeah.
They got rid of their offensive coordinator. That's what you're thinking of. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So look at these teams that are on the brink. So, and toward the bottom of this list. So let's just do the 4-8 teams. The Giants, the Bears, and the Seahawks, and take your team bias out if you possibly can. But of those 4-8 teams, do any of them make the playoffs?
No.
You don't think? None of them?
No. And I'm even saying that, like, Seahawks are my team. I obviously want them to make the playoffs.
I mean, it is what it is at this point,
But I just feel like this year is, our year to go through that transition of we're not going to make the playoffs as we did a few years ago. I don't see Pete Carroll staying past the season, as I said before. So I feel like this is our year to go through that. But we're still hanging on in there, as our listener said earlier.
Hanging in.
The Giants, I don't even know where to begin with them.
Their schedule is gross. Let's just put it that way.
It's so gross.
Yeah. They play the Chargers, they play Dallas, Philly, Chicago, and then Washington again.
And then the Bears are just like this team that, you hope they'll do well every year, and then they just turn out and not do well every year. However, I do think their young quarterback will hopefully turn it around, but I feel like he has to have a better coach underneath that.
But he's injured again. And then Andy Dalton with all those damn interceptions. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. Sadly, I see like this out of the 3, I see the Seahawks probably getting the most wins out of them, but I still see them missing
the playoffs. So the rest of the Bears schedule, they play Green Bay. They play Minnesota, then they play Seattle, they play the Giants, and then Minnesota again. So no easy score for that. So if you look at it,
I'm sorry, my contact lens has just popped out.
Oh, no problem. Fix it. You're good. So if you look at it, really, Seattle has probably, I hate to say easy, no schedule is easy, but the easier schedule left. They play Houston, they play the Rams, they play Chicago, Detroit, and Arizona. So I think you're right there. I can see Seattle getting at least 3 wins out of that. And divisional games, as we have all learned, you never know what is going to happen. So the interesting thing then for those, I kind of agree with you. I don't know that any of the 3 of those make the playoffs. I think that would be a very tough ask for them. I think probably the Saints aren't, just because of their injury situation. It just keeps getting worse. I think the Eagles or the Vikings probably have the best chance. What does that Vikings schedule look like? What do they have left?
I have it here. Hold on. They have week 16 versus the Rams. I think, do they have Steelers on Thursday night as well? I think so.
Look.
And then they've got a road game against the Packers, and then against the Bears. And then they have to either pull an offset against the road against Rangers and Green Bay, or beat the Rams at home.
Oh,
it's not easy either.
No. Yeah. So I always say there's no easy teams or easy games in football, but yeah, that seems to be tough. So for our last couple minutes, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
How would you feel about a Brady Belichick Super Bowl?
I don't think I could watch it. It would be like choosing, Lord Vader versus Anakin Skywalker. Is that the same person? Yeah, it is.
They
Lord
are.
Vader versus the Emperor.
Right.
You can't choose. Yeah, Vader turns good in the end, but you're like, you still killed a lot of people, Vader.
I don't know that I would watch that either. And I don't know, those of you who follow me on Twitter, I got a Tom Brady Christmas ornament and a white elephant gift this weekend. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I literally just picked it. It wasn't even given to me. I just picked it. But here's the thing. I kind of would love it, to be honest with you. I would hate it because then once again,
you're right. It's a bit like Marmite, isn't it? You kind of, I think I'd silently be rooting for Belichick as well, which is just so wrong, but I really would be.
I would be totally cheering for Belichick.
I would love it because he would, he would probably do his Stone Cold Steve Austin walk past Brady and not shake his hand. Either before the game or after.
But Brady to be beat by a rookie quarterback would just make me stupid.
Oh, it would be beautiful. It would be beautiful. No babies. Yeah, I agree.
Larry, we don't want it either.
I felt like the worst Super Bowl for me was the Rams and the Patriots a few years ago, but I think the B&B Bowl, oh God, I'm even calling it the B&B Bowl, which will start being a thing on Twitter. Oh God, no.
Larry coined a phrase, he didn't even know it. The B&B Bowl. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. But to be honest with you, I don't know that it'll get there. I really feel like the Cardinals are just kind of rolling. We'll probably have a very good chance of getting past anyone unless there's a crazy upset in the playoffs. I think that would not surprise me at all. It's going to be who represents in the AFC, I think will be the biggest question mark and could be the most fun to watch. So it is going to be interesting, folks. All right. Well, that is our show for this week. The half hour just goes so quickly. I hope you guys join us again. We are back every 2 weeks. So we'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, same time, same place right here on YouTube. And we hope that you guys will join us then. Good luck to everybody's teams. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.